Hi, I'm Bryce, and I've been meditating regularly for the last 7 years or so. But recently I've decided to expand my horizons in my meditation practice. Inspired by the various 30 days of meditation challenges, I decided to take this a step further. So every week I'm going to be practicing a different meditation technique, and only that meditation technique for every day that week, until starting a new technique the next week. A lot I didn't even know existed. So I wanted to share what I've been learning with all of you. This is going to be fun. We're all going to learn some stuff along the way, hopefully. I don't know about you, but I like breathing, and it's nice to know how to do it in a conducive way. But I still wanted to share what I've been learning about crystals, meditating with them. So there are like two ways I've read about and practiced meditating with stones and crystals most often. And I'm sure there are others, but this is what I know. And the first way is basically just sort of sitting with the stone or crystal in your hand and just sort of sitting with it, sort of listening, feeling, concentrating on that stone, really getting into it. Like maybe whatever color the stone is, maybe you think about that color like being immersed in that color. Maybe you feel or think about that stone like covering your whole body. Maybe you feel or think about like transporting yourself inside the middle of the stone or something. And it's basically just sort of sitting and listening. If you listen and feel anything from the stone, it requires a lot of concentration to focus on the stone. And I know sometimes even throughout this week, it was difficult at times to keep my attention and focus on the stone itself. And as you keep your attention and focus on the stone or crystal, maybe you'll start to feel something. Maybe it'll be in your mind, maybe it'll be in your body, and maybe that has something to do with the stone or the crystal. You know, if you're concentrating on it, and then you're feeling this thing. The other way that I think a lot of people do it, and me occasionally, is putting the stones on different chakras. Now I realize we haven't spoken a lot about chakras yet, because we're going to get into that in a later episode of meditation. And the way that works is you basically you can either lay down or sit up, I guess, but it helps if you lay down so the stones don't fall off of you. But you lay down and you put stones on different chakras, and you feel their effects, if any, that way. I'm actually going to be meditating for 8 days this week instead of the regularly scheduled 7, because for 4 days I want to meditate with stones that I have continued to meditate with here and there throughout my practice, and then for another 4 days I want to meditate with stones that maybe I'm not too familiar with. I want to test this theory of mine and see if meditating with stones I have used before to meditate with are doing something, maybe something psychosomatic in my mind, whereas meditating with stones I haven't meditated before are not, and so maybe there would be no effect at all. There was definitely something, I think. There was some focus that came in to my being using this. It definitely gave me a sense of being aware of when my mind would be drifting, maybe a little bit more so than with the other stones. A little bit. It brought me back into that moment, that clarity of, oh, I'm meditating. I need to really focus on paying attention to these 2 stones. But I don't think I felt anything like super intense. Like I can't put a descriptor on using the tiger's eye. I can only say there was a little bit more focusing. I can't describe it any bit more than that. So that was my experience with tiger's eye. Keep in mind that I don't normally meditate with the stone tiger's eye, but the reason I'm meditating with it this time today is because I'm wanting to test that theory that I mentioned before about seeing if meditating with stones I've already meditated with provides some psychosomatic placebo effect within my mind, as opposed to using stones I haven't meditated with before. Today I meditated with kyanite of the black variety and didn't feel much at all meditating with that. I mean, I was meditating and stuff, but there wasn't a connection I felt with this stone in particular. And yeah, that happens, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what else to say with this one, because there's nothing there, really. There were a few minutes I felt like there were wings around me or something like that, like giant wings covering me or something, but other than that I don't think that had anything to do with the black kyanite. So that's what's going on with that black kyanite. So for the last 2 days I've been meditating with this stone called opalite, and even though I had no idea what to expect or really anything about the stone, I found when meditating with it, woo! It reminded me a little bit like azurite, except whereas azurite sort of takes you up, this opalite sort of brings you down. And not in like it's bringing me down, man, kind of way. It's more like bringing me down in terms of like a raindrop merging with the rest of the ocean, sort of thing. It was a very powerful stone to meditate with. It made me feel like I could meditate with this stone for hours. There was a certain point when meditating with it, I was thinking about, a brief thought crossed my mind about stopping, a brief moment while I was meditating with this stone, but then I came back listening to the stone and was like, you can do this as long as you want, man. And I don't even know how much time went by. I mean, that's sort of with meditation in general, but I don't know what it was. With this stone in particular, there was more floating, I suppose. Yeah, super powerful, super relaxing stone. Really. It's also cool because I got this stone from House of Energy in Toronto, Canada, specifically in Kensington. So if you're ever in there, in that area, check them out. They got a good selection of stones and crystals and a wide variety of other things. I'm not being paid to say this. I like them, and because this stone is awesome, and I got it from them. I just wanted to share. Give them a shout out.